On World Teachers Day, the Center for Community Outreach and Development at the University of the West Indies, Mona, is proud to highlight an extraordinary teacher whose decades of service has impacted the academic and personal lives of over 1,000 children, many of whom are now scholars, professionals, and leaders in their fields. Beyond the classroom, he has also made a lasting impact through his work in community development. Join me in this special conversation with Mr. David Hennry, a teacher who has inspired and guided generations for many years.
Throughout my life, even prior to teaching, I was always assisting students in terms of their exam preparation. And so I find that it was a natural flow for me to be assisting and then to see them being successful. And so I decided, you know what, I'm thinking about teaching. And may I share, it's also a heavenly calling. I was at a church meeting and a gentleman who we called a prophet that I had never seen before said to me, you know, the Lord called you to teach. And I said, okay, that's confirmation. So since then, I've been teaching, and I've always said, if I had my life to live all over again, I would still teach. What has kept me is to see the development of the human capital. I've seen sometimes with kids will come, students, and when they come at the grade 6 where I would have spent most of my teaching career, some of them are unable to read. And I would call them, sit them down, reason with them, because I never embarrass my student. Reason with them of the importance of their getting their education. So, because one day they'll have to take care of themselves and also take care of their parents and their own children. And so when I see these students achieve, I feel really good because I've seen a situation, more than one, where students in September struggle to identify 2 and 3 letter words. And after the discussion and the effort, come July, these students are A readers and have achieved, and to these persons, that they are adults and they are still flourishing. They are married, they are settled and doing very well. What I enjoy is the interaction, getting to know students, getting to know their parents, and then to help to develop the human capital. So you instill in them the importance of education as a means of transformation. And of course, I would encourage my students also during that time to do the book of Proverbs, so they can get a balanced view on life. But I really enjoy teaching because I see lives being changed and students are getting better amidst their struggles, because I would have spent at least 14 years at the Augusttown Primary, a little time at Oak Valley, and now I'm over 10 years at Mona Heights Primary. And the students that feed these schools, a lot of their parents are, regular working class. And so God bless me with life. I am able to see a lot of these students, their lives transform. Some of them have been able to buy homes for even their parents, and the transformation. So I really enjoy teaching, making a life better. It's one of my greatest joy, because even at Mona Heights Primary now, our school song speaks to their coming to the university. And so I've always said to my students, listen, you do well now, high school, university. And the truth is, recently, I remember I saw a student and she was saying, well, sir, I'm now, she would be in second year and her sister is now in third year. And she was saying, sir, I'm so grateful because when I was in class, it was mom alone and she didn't have the private lesson money. And you said to her, no, don't let that stop me from coming. And here she is today at the university, because I would have encouraged her to say, what? Do that. I share lunch with them because I want to see them become better citizens. So I really enjoy that. And a lot of them who have graduated, they are now contributing to the society in different areas. So I really feel good and say, boy, if I could live my life again, I would teach again just to see the development. And even for the community of Augustown, I can safely say that my students whom I've taught, they are not violence producers. Some of them have gone on to represent Jamaica in sports, in like basketball. Some of them have gone on in netball, of course, with scholarship as well, because I've always encouraged book and ball to say, listen, do your academics, do sports. Because my brightest girl, my head girl, would have also been the captain. My top boy, when I was in football, he was also the captain. So I've always believed in that balance. And to see them achieve now, it's a great, great joy. One that stands out, I remember, was from Bedford Gardens. And even when we say the river come down, Mr. Williams would find a way, they say, to come through the river, because if the rain stops at 10 o'clock, they know by 10:30, I am at school, ready to teach. And it was a struggle for them, but to see, sometime he would have taken his son on his back to carry him to school. When the young man went to Jamaica College, he said, sir, I want to go in the army. I said, okay, do your degree first and then go in as an officer. And he did the degree and he went in as an officer. And today he's like a captain in the army. And I remember when I saw his father said, sir, I'm not doing so well, but my son bought a house for me so I can live a little life. That for me is maybe one of the most outstanding. And then I remember another son, another student that said, sir, I'm glad you didn't teach me just language and math, because his father sent for him when he passed for St. George's out of my class. By the time he went to England, his mother died. So he had nobody to come back to Jamaica. And his father said, listen, you can't stay here. So he had to work, or what I say, earn and learn, till he came back to Jamaica, got married. And he said, sir, I am so glad you didn't teach me just math and English, but life. And that is what has kept me. Whole idea of being human, looking out for your neighbor, doing to others as you'd like them do to you. And so one of my policy in my classroom, the students who are ahead, when you are finished and you get your work with what I may say your big tick, look for that student who is struggling and help them. So I've always encouraged the spirit of helping each other. And they do it and it works. Because I said, listen, you may be able to explain to your student better than the teacher can. So look and help. And I try my best to do the same, helping others. So I will share my lunch. I remember when I was at primary school at Augustown, kids would say, we don't have any breakfast. I say, okay, go to my mother. I said, Mr. Wilson, we need to have a canteen. And out of that. But the whole idea of, listen, help your fellow men, be a good neighbor. It is what I would consider my holistic view in terms of sustainable development, so that the academics is important, but I'm able to speak to the football coaches to say, okay, I'm able to speak to a player to say, listen, you need to do that. That kind of thing. I'm able to encourage some people, go by heart to say, okay, you can do some training. Went by Michael and some of the other places to say, okay, if you have finished, there's a pathway 1, there's a pathway 2, there's a pathway 3. And for me, sometimes it may cost me some kind of financial, but I say, okay, I'll do this for you, but please don't go and tell anybody. Just let your parent know that I assist. But I believe in the synergy, because once we have synergy in the community, then we will have a better community. There'll be less violence. So sometimes there are issues, and I'm also part of, for example, Augustine Peace Builders. So that may mean going to UWI, making a call to kind of create some solution too. My first suggestion is that, listen, as a teacher, no one can really pay you to teach. It's more like a ministry. You have to love teaching. You have to love the students that you teach. So when you get them in September, you do your assessment. I would say, guess what? Some may not be able to 7 or 11. But when you're finished, those who can't 11, there must be at least a 7. But there must be some progress. So you have to love the students, because they themselves have a lot of challenges. A lot of them will come to you, they have no father. Some of them, they don't have enough lunch money. Some of them, academically, they are not ready for that particular class. So I'd really encourage my teachers to get to know the parents, have a good interpersonal relationship, so you can understand better the students who are sitting before you. And the greatest satisfaction from that is to see your student as they achieve and accomplish and contribute to our nation, Jamaica, and international as worthwhile citizens. Teachers, you are blessed. The Bible says that those of us, as we are helping the poor, even the poor academically, we are lending to our Maker. So I believe that God has a special blessing for teachers. So continue to teach, because the greatest joy we get is not in the finance, but is to see the development of the human social capital, to see students move from point A to point B, make themselves better individuals, their community and country. So keep doing what you're doing from a posture and a position and a persuasion that I love this, I love people, I want to see my fellow humans achieve.